Did you notice a pattern? This pattern is also present in marketing, that new Switch OLED model and its controller. Even Ganondorf on the platform he's standing on has it. So why is it making this pattern on Hyrule's overworld? Well, I think I may have an idea, and it could also be why the Deku Tree is absent now. On the bottom of these sky islands are stalactite-like structures that have a glowing green pattern underneath, the same green energy we see all over the place. And, of course, we can interact with certain things with the Ultra Hand abilities that Link now has. It's also the same green energy as the constructs and the Zonai charges that powers them, along with a lot of the other Zonai tech. We even see some of it being expelled as pieces of the islands fall from the sky, as though it's lost battery power to stay in the air, kind of like a depleted battery, like the fans. So who are the Zonai? Well, I believe they're a lost faction of Sheikah, similar to how the Yiga left the Sheikah and formed their own clan. They use similar circle pedestals in their architecture in the Sky Islands, and are similar to teleportation tech of the Sheikah towers and shrines. The Yiga teleportation magic attack is circular too, and is red. In fact, each has a specific color with them. Green for Zonai, blue for the regular Sheikah of old ancient times, and red for the Yiga. But we now have a new color that I briefly talked about in a previous video. But what is that new color? It's gold. Golden trees, gold grass. The recall power is gold. In fact, that cutscene from the delay trailer that Link is collecting is a gold orb. And what else is gold? The Triforce. Honestly, I'd say this gold color fits nicely. Gold for the Sky Zonai. Could be a reference to Hylia even, as each color also represents one of the golden goddesses, Din, Nehru, and Feror. Aonuma said in this trailer that
you won't see many of those yellow trees on the surface, though.
But did you know he may inadvertently be referencing Breath of the Wild and not just Tears of the Kingdom? In the Lost Woods, where the Korok Forest is located, there are just a few trees with barely a few golden leaves left on their branches, almost completely dead, barely hanging on a little bit of life they have left, compared to the rest of the dead trees. These gold trees are only located here, where the Great Deku Tree is located, almost as if he was dropped from the sky into place to protect the Master Sword. Wasn't he and the sword in a different location in prior eras in the ancient past? Remember how I mentioned that depleted battery idea? What if the reverse is true? What if this entire area was depleting the life of the forest to power some sort of tech to lift the Deku Tree into the sky once the inevitable happened? You know, Ganondorf waking up. Think of it this way, when a normal human gets lost, they turn into a stealth, which is a skeleton. Sounds like to me the forest is sapping their life. The Master Sword has averted many calamities alongside the hero, and the pedestal that restores the sword from the damage it incurs in those battles is located in the Korok Forest, which brims with the energy of the land. Perhaps, by design of the goddess, beside the pedestal a single young cherry tree grew. So what if the Zonai find a way to harness it? They did see the Deku Tree as a Shinboku. They worshipped it. What's a Shinboku? A Shinboku is a tree or forest worshipped as a Shintai, which is a physical object of worship at or near a Shinto shrine. Worshipped as a repository in which a spirit or kami reside in. Speaking of trees, the ones shown are based on Japanese Ginko trees, which are found in Shinto shrines as Shinboku, which I mentioned earlier. Recall I mentioned Shinto? Well, the structures in the Sky Islands have quite a Shinto shrine-looking appearance, wouldn't you agree? We have seen giant old decaying trees on the Sky Islands already. Where did the Lost Woods go? If they are gone, then up with the forest and Deku Tree. But if the Lost Woods is still there, it's most likely protecting the giant cavern and the giant clouded Sky Island above. I also mentioned how the life was sucked into something to lift the Deku Tree into the sky, similar to what is happening with Ganondorf and Hyrule Castle. After all, the design underneath his feet is the same as the pattern I mentioned at the very start of this video, which again is linked back to under the castle, Ganondorf, and even the Zonai. I wonder if we'll see this pattern elsewhere. So what's my point? The Deku Tree was purposely put in that location in Breath of the Wild by the Zonai and even Hylia, on top of one of their structures surrounded by gold trees, and he knows a hell lot more than the events from 10,000 years ago and even before that. 2. Hylia, the Zonai, and the Great Deku Tree may actually have something to do with this whole plot dealing with the Zonai and Ganondorf sealing jutsu. I don't know how just yet. Maybe they tricked him? Maybe Hylia tricked the Zonai? 3. The Zonai are a third party stemmed from the ancient Sheikah of old, just like the Yiga and the Sheikah from the calamity that occurred 10,000 years ago. Zonai and the sealing of Ganondorf are more likely older than 10,000 years, however. And it's possible the Zonai was split into two factions as well, Sky and Surface/Underground Zonai. 4. Whatever that pattern is can cause actual change to whatever it touches, similar to Ganondorf's malice on Link's arm. I think whatever that ritual is was converting all the green life energy into Ganondorf's blood-red malice while keeping him sealed. It controlled sealing using an entire civilization. Unfortunately, this didn't stop the malice from breaking out every so often. And that civilization was more than likely the Zonai that was sacrificed to seal Ganondorf away more than 10,000 years ago. My last point. The Sheikah copied the Zonai tech. That's why we see Sheikah tech integrated with Zonai structures in Breath of the Wild, and why they share similar aesthetics. Like the water, liquid, goop both tech seem to use, as Malice also acts this way too. I mean, wasn't Malice just corrupted water? All three are a form of life energy. Anyway, the Zonai and Sheikah either work together, or the Sheikah of old copied the Zonai's technology centuries later due to knowledge obtained from their own research of the heavens and stars, via astrology before the King of Hyrule banned the Sheikah tech and Zonai tech to be scrubbed off the face of Hyrule after the Calamity. Another question is, was the Zonai stuff more prevalent before the banning? How did the Zonai stuff return? Was it banned because it was based on the souls of the dead instead of the stars like the blue tech? Yeah, I'm probably way off on this, as I know Akala region has some golden trees mixed in with the autumn-colored leaves, but it makes sense to me, and I'm just going by what Onuma said. I also love that they take in so much inspiration from real-life history like Japan Shinto culture, alchemy, and ancient history. Speaking of which, you should really go check that video out. Name's Bio, and what are some of your theories? Because I'm signing off. Later.